Nathan Reid, farm soybeans, cotton, corn, rice, grain sorghum, wheat, rye here in eastern Arkansas and Lee and St. Francis counties. First non-green tractor I've ever had on the farm. The tractor has been good. You know, we haven't had any major catastrophic failures on anything, whereas a lot of my green tractors I have, and you talk about a much lower initial cost. So the actual power and pulling ability, there's no comparison. The Versatile will outpull anything out there, I feel. Some of the issues we had, especially with dirt moving, with the other equipment, and the price. You know, I mean, it's a cheaper price point and a lot simpler. I feel like a lot of this equipment has gotten too complex, where it's very hard for me to run, much less any hired help. And then on top of that, I like the design of the Versatile, how the systems are separate, where everything's not tied together. All the hydraulics and rear ends are separate systems. You know, when you get into big engines, a lot of times the competition is running a 12.5, 13-liter engine, whereas the Versatile has a 15-liter. And they're really, when you get in the high horsepower applications, lugging ability, the other tractors just can't compete. They may have the same horsepower, but they sure are not able to compete out in the field with it. That, and then the Caterpillar transmission also, but high horsepower four-wheel drive applications, you can have issues with transmissions. And I think that the Caterpillar transmission with the Cummins engine is probably the best combination on the market right now. Pull power, traction, you know, I feel the tractor's weighted and has very good traction. The lugging ability, you know, when you really get into these, that's the thing. This tractor just keeps going. It doesn't ever seem to, you can lug it and it just pulls right through and keeps moving along. So. Yes, I've driven it quite a bit myself, and it's definitely smoother riding. It seems to be better balanced, better traction, and just be able to handle things a lot better. Well, we've been running this actual same dirt pan on a John Deere 9630 tractor, and had some rear end issues and a lot of expenses, and it just never really pulled it to I thought its full potential. So I purchased one of these. I was looking to upgrade anyway, so purchased this tractor, and it definitely it just. Generally, before we had trouble filling the pan over half full, whereas this tractor will top it off. So it's definitely a lot better machine for the task. But it's definitely been above and beyond any other tractor I've ever had on a scraper. It does the job. You know, you want tough and high horsepower, and that's what this tractor is. It's tough and simple and high horsepower and easy to fix. You're running this tractor daily. You need ease of daily serviceability. We've got the auto greaser on it, so really, I mean, our morning ritual consumes of just checking the fluid levels and going. So that, you know, whereas my other tractors, we're spending 30 minutes in the morning on average greasing and servicing the tractors. So the fluid coupler between the motor and the transmission. The Deere, it can be up to a $20,000, $30,000 job for the amount of carnage it produces when it goes out. And then also just even if it does not do the damage, it's a 2 to 3 week job in the shop to replace it. The same thing happened on this tractor, and it was literally a 2-hour job to replace it. So it seems like the tractor is laid out easier for maintenance, and even catastrophic failures of components, this tractor seems to be easier, if that was the case, to get serviced and get back in the field after a major repair. I actually like, for our application, I like the outboard planetary axles. I feel like in a real high horsepower, high draft application where you do have rear end issues or troubles, the inboard planetaries, it's a disaster when you have an issue with one of those, because everything's tied together. That was my problem with my 9630. The inboard planetary goes out, it dumps on the rear end and takes your whole rear end out. Whereas this, you just replace the planetary. So I do like that design. Again, back to the simplicity. All the systems aren't tied together, so if you have a hydraulic pump go out, it doesn't get in your rear ends and get everywhere else. Or you have a rear end go out, it doesn't get all through the tractor system and destroy every component in the tractor. I like the isolation that's designed into these. It's lower operating cost per hour, lower maintenance costs, It definitely makes me more money. I mean, whereas, you know, a lot of times the green tractors, I mean, the average lifespan of a tractor, 5,000 to 6,000 hours, you're probably gonna have $10 to $20 less an hour, I would imagine, at the end of that in one of these machines. So. Oh, it rides great and doesn't toss you around as bad, and the transmission shifts smooth, and so it's definitely an improvement over the Deere tractor. It rides a lot better. It's not as jerky, doesn't seem to be as jerky, and the Deere transmissions are pretty jerky. They toss you around, and again, back to the lugging ability, a Deere, they seem to peak the crest and they fall off so fast, and then it kicks into neutral and throws you against the glass, whereas this has enough power, it pulls through the lug, and unless you just really lug it, it doesn't kick off into neutral. And one thing that we really enjoy about this tractor is being able to run it at 1,800 RPM. When you run those smaller engines at 2,200 RPMs all day, it feels like somebody's just sitting there screaming in your ear the whole day. I guess a better operator experience. We're seeing more and more of them. I mean, a lot of farmers are going to them, and I've had nothing but a positive experience with my dealer, with the tractor. I've been extremely pleased, and hopefully I'll probably be going to a few more Versatiles in the next few years.